Hello and welcome to today's edition of the BME Horizon Hot Topics webinar. I am Borana, the Chief European Research Funding Advisor of the Budapest University of Technology and Economics. The Budapest University of Technology and Economics is a leading higher education and research institution of engineering, natural sciences and social sciences in the region. We have 8 faculties, more than 1,200 academic staff, more than 20,000 students, and our key research areas include ICT, artificial intelligence, sustainable energy, accumulator technologies, vehicle technology, biotechnology, nanophysics, disaster prevention, and many more. This webinar is brought to you by the Center for University Industry Cooperation, which is called FIEC. FIEC is a unit within the university that is responsible for coordinating the innovation-related activities of the faculties, like fostering university, industry relations, intellectual property management, tech transfer, and among others, the Horizon Europe participation support. This webinar, the BME Horizon Hot Topics, was started in 2021 in November, and we wanted to create a weekly program for creating awareness and sparking discussion on concepts and ideas that define the new trends of the European research area and how these trends are reflected in the Horizon Europe Framework Program. Since the first session of the webinar, we have covered topics like open science, citizen science, research ethics, societal impacts of research, and co-creation exercises. And today we are going to cover a new topic, which is research integrity and responsible research. We are going to use a Slido platform for your questions and for catalyzing interaction. If you are following us on YouTube, please use the Slido code that is provided for you on the description of the webinar. If you are following us from horizon.bme.hu/webinars, please use the embedded Slido platform there. As I mentioned, our webinars are broadcasted live each Monday at 1 p.m. Central European Time. And today we are going to cover a research integrity topic, namely fostering research integrity practices within institutions. Research integrity is vital. Discussion about research integrity is vital within an institution, and fostering research integrity practices can have many forms. Today we are going to discuss, we are going to have a presentation about a mobile app about research integrity called the Lemma Game. And also we are going to dive into how a community of practitioners can foster research integrity, can create awareness, and can create a dynamic forum for exchanging ideas and good practices about how to make research integrity a better embedded procedure and concept in the universities. Our first guest today is Mathieu van Kooten. Mathieu studied philosophy at Erasmus University and at the University of Edinburgh. Afterwards, he started working at Erasmus University as a policy officer, during which time he coordinated the development and the launch of the Lemma Game app, which we are going to talk about today. Currently, Mathieu is a strategic advisor to the executive board of the Erasmus University of Rotterdam. I'm going to stop my presentation now and give the floor to you, Mathieu, to please present the Lemma Game app.
Thank you very much for your introduction. I hope the screen is visible. Today I'll be talking about the Lemma Game app, which is an app that we developed at Erasmus University. And this app was created to stimulate awareness about, but also stimulate discussion about research integrity in the academic context. As was said already, my name is Mathieu van Kooten, and I was a policy advisor at the time when the Lemma Game app was developed. So I've coordinated that and the launch as well. And in this short presentation, I would like to tell you a bit more about how the app works, how we've created it, and there will be room for some questions. First, I would like to show you a very short video that explains the app in 2 minutes, so you have a basic idea already.
In an increasingly complex world of research, researchers are often confronted with moral dilemmas. It can be difficult to start a conversation about such delicate issues relating to professionalism and integrity in research. By confronting you with thought-provoking dilemmas, the Lemma Game app aims to support you in further developing your own moral compass and discussing this kind of issues with others. Every month, a new dilemma will be uploaded. You will be able to vote on your preferred course of action, after which you get to see how others voted. You will also be able to see an integrity expert review comment that gives you an in-depth analysis of the dilemma and the underlying principles. Besides voting on dilemmas, you will also have the chance to submit your own dilemma. In this way, you will get feedback on your own dilemma from the research community. Discussing integrity dilemmas works best when done face-to-face. Therefore, the Lemma Game app has a group mode. Simply create a room, select specific dilemmas to discuss together, share the code with the other players, and start discussing dilemmas that are relevant to you. After playing, you will get an overview with insightful statistics. For larger groups, the game also contains a lecture mode. In this mode, all individuals in the audience can join the game room made by the lecturer. Subsequently, everyone can vote, and the lecturer can show the percentage of votes per option. We at Erasmus University Rotterdam believe the Lemma Game can help you as a researcher in your day-to-day work. Download the app now and start challenging your moral compass on your own, in your class, or together with your peers and colleagues.
So I hope that was a good overview of what the app entails and why we created it. And as I said, the main reason was to stimulate an open discussion about research integrity, because that is vital for an open and inclusive research culture as well. The Lemma Game wasn't started in 2020 when we digitalized it, but it started as a card game a while ago. In 2002, this card game was created, and the card game contained dilemmas, a short description of a dilemma that would occur in an academic context, with 4 options of which participants can choose. And this game was played in small groups with the cards, and by defending and choosing options as a course of action based on the dilemma, the participants get to develop their moral compass and talk about these issues. And often the right or wrong answer, but it is nuance and a discussion about the various options and what personal preferences are as well. The original card game consisted of 75 dilemmas that were based on actual cases from the different schools that are based in Erasmus University. So together with PhD students, but also researchers, we basically got dilemmas from the community so that these dilemmas are relevant as well for other people in the community. As I said, there's 4 options per dilemma, and by discussing the options and by defending your choice, people get to develop their moral compass. And this game has become part of standard training in academic integrity, not only at our own university, but also at other universities in the Netherlands. In 2020, we decided to digitalize the card game because the card game is a physical card game that you would have to get somewhere. And there's many benefits to digitalization, not only the fact that you can play it anytime, everywhere, without the card game itself, but also in this way, we reach a wider audience because it's very easy to download an app, of course. Also, as opposed to the card game, this inspires continuous attention to research integrity because in the app, people are reminded of new dilemmas that are added to the app. And of course, these new dilemmas are more relevant as well because these dilemmas come from the community itself. Also in the app, you can see how other people voted, so that helps as well. I'll go into the app and certain functionalities a bit more, so you get a gist of what the app entails precisely. First of all, the individual mode. This is when you open the app, this is how you get into the app, and there you see the dilemmas that you can scroll through. And when you click a dilemma, you can vote on one of the options that you would prefer. And after voting, you also get to see how other people voted. So you can compare a bit to how your vote compares to others. As was shown in the video, there's also 2 group modes in the app, which allows people to come together and discuss research integrity whilst being guided by the app. And in a group mode, you can make a room and there's a code, and other people that have downloaded the app as well can fill out this code in their app and they join the room. And in that way, you can play together. And the app will give instructions of who needs to defend his or her opinion and choice. And then it goes around and you get to see how other people voted as well. And after someone defended their choice, you also get the option to change your choice if you have been convinced by that person. Next to this group mode, which is played in small groups from 4 to 6 people, there is also a lecture mode, and the lecture mode has an unlimited audience, and it basically works sort of like tools like Kahoot, which is an online tool as well. So basically there's a large screen where the options are shown and people in the audience can vote, and in real time these votes are displayed on the screen, and the lecturer can create a discussion in the room based on these replies. Next to the group modes, there is some statistics as well when you finish playing a group mode. So when you play several dilemmas within a small group, at the end of the game, you get to see what the most controversial dilemmas were. So you might want to talk a bit extra about those. And you get to see some other insightful statistics about the game itself, such as the group persuasiveness, so how much the group was convinced of other opinions as well. Next to the individual mode and the group modes, there's also a filter option. And in this filter option, you can select a certain type of dilemmas because there's various dilemmas, currently more than 100, and they're subdivided in categories. So based on your researcher position, for example, you can select dilemmas that are relevant to you. So if you're a PhD candidate, for example, you can fill that out in the app. And then you get dilemmas that are relevant for this type of position. And also there are some other filters based on the research strategy, but also on the research phase. So from data collection to conclusion and publishing. So this makes the app more relevant to use for different types of groups within the academic setting. Next to that, there's also a dilemma of the month. So every month, a new dilemma is uploaded, and the app users are reminded of this through a push notification, and they are invited to vote on this new dilemma. And these new dilemmas are created based on suggestions that we get from the community, but I'll go into that later. Next to that, there's also an expert review comment, and this is added to the new dilemmas. You see it in the bottom here. There's expert review, and once you click that, you get a bit more background about the dilemma. and about the various principles that are underlying the dilemma, and some more insight into research integrity and how it relates to the dilemma. And these expert reviews are written by our own expert, Professor Huub Swart. He is a professor at our university, and he does a lot of research into academic integrity as well. Lastly, as I said, app users can propose new dilemmas as well in the app. These dilemmas aren't put in the app directly after being proposed, but we get to see these dilemmas, and we use these as inspiration to write new dilemmas for the app. So in this way, the app also forms a sort of feedback mechanism from the community. So if people are confronted with moral dilemmas themselves, they can actually suggest this in the app, and they can see how other people would deal with these dilemmas. So that about the app, and now a bit more about how it relates to research integrity. The app was created because in the Netherlands, a new research integrity code was launched. And there it says that as academic institutions, we also have a responsibility to create an open, safe, and inclusive research culture. And that is exactly what we aim to do with this app, because it doesn't only stimulate awareness of this, but it also facilitates this open discussion that can lead to an open research culture. So we very much believe in that. And also, as I said already, in academic integrity or research integrity, there's often not one single right and wrong answer, but there's a lot of gray areas that need some thought and pondering about. And I think that's what the app is great for as well, because it facilitates this discussion, and it's not a score or a game that you can win. So because the app frequently stimulates, like every month, stimulates awareness about this, it contributes to academic integrity as well. Also, this app is, of course, available to a wide audience, because the app can be downloaded by anyone and can be used by any institution. So it's explicitly a free resource. And we've gotten a lot of feedback that different institutions throughout the world are using this app as part of their training as well. As I said, the dilemmas are more relevant than the previous card game as well, because it's a feedback loop from the community. It can be used in various settings, so in small groups, large groups, but also on your own. And lastly, also during the COVID pandemic, we've seen that this app has been a great resource, because not only you don't have to be physically together, but also in an online setting, this app is a great tool to use to discuss research integrity. Then lastly, a little bit about the implementation at our own university. We have included the app as a part of standard training in research integrity. So all PhD students, when they have this module, they play the app together. Also, some bachelor and master programs have made this part of their introduction, because there's some dilemmas that are focused on students as well. The app is furthermore used in various settings, so in research seminars, but also in group meetings of departments. And lastly, everyone in our institution is encouraged to download the app and use it to be able to think about academic integrity. As I said, it's an open resource, so we've seen a lot of universities that have created their own initiatives based on the app, such as the Integrity Thursdays at Utrecht University. The University of Twente is using the app as well and making events around it. So it's great to see that this open resource is also used. Then lastly, a bit about the future. We have realized that the app is a great success, because it's being used by more than 13,000 people around the world. So we also want to create a next version, a 2.0 version, which can improve the user experience, but also we want to extend the scope from purely scientific academic integrity to broader forms of integrity, such as social integrity or organizational integrity. So the app becomes relevant to all members of the academic community and not only the researchers. And we would like to use the feedback from the community to improve this app. So that was very shortly an introduction to the app. You can find more information on our website, eur.nl/Lemma Game. And also, if you have any questions, there's an email address in the slide that you can contact for questions. And lastly, I would like to invite you all to download the app and start playing with it. And I'm very curious if you have any feedback. I would be very happy to hear that. So thank you very much for your attention, and I hope there are some stimulating questions so we can continue the discussion.
Thank you very much, Mathieu. I'm going to share my screen now with the questions we have received. Just a moment. Okay. Yeah, there we have it. Okay. In the meanwhile, just to give our audience a hint of what research integrated topics are covered, which is the first question. I'm just looking at the app, and I'm going to read very briefly the dilemma of the month, at least the beginning of it, because these dilemmas are a bit, well, they're long in the sense that they want to provide as many details of the situation as possible to be able to spark a discussion. So the dilemma of the month today is dubious literature. And the dilemma goes as, I am the promoter of a PhD candidate who has just started with his or her PhD research. We have agreed that she starts with a literature review before we set up the experimental work. In one of our first meetings, we have arranged to discuss the review. I noticed that he or she has incorporated a number of articles that could be qualified as dubious. No proper peer review, journals of poor reputation, and so on. I find this problematic even more as these articles express serious doubt on one of the major research lines of the research project. And the dilemma goes on. And there are like 4 possible ways to react to this situation. And as Mathieu mentioned, these are not like black and white answers. So there is not like good or bad answers to these dilemmas, but rather ways to handle a situation. And these are very good to spark a discussion. This is actually how I came across this app in one of the trainings organized by the Virtue project. So can you actually mention some other research integrity topics that are popular?
Yeah, sure. So we have tried to make the app as broad as possible, also relating to research integrity. So in fact, I think most research integrity topics are covered. So it's very broad. It's ranging from how do you supervise a student to how do you deal with conflicts of interest when you're doing research in assignment, for example. How do you deal with favors that are being asked, for example? How do you deal with a publication process about who is the first author on a publication, for example? So it's very broad ranging, and we want to include as many types of research integrity as possible. And of course, also the fact that the community can give input that also contributes to the breadth, so to say, of the dilemmas and the topics that are covered.
Thank you. And the second question can be quite briefly answered. Was this app an own initiative of the university or supported by a European project?
The app was an own initiative of our university. As I said, the card game was created in 2002 already. And also the digitalization was our own initiative. So it's also been funded by our own university. We have recently been awarded the Council of Europe Best Practice Program in Research Integrity. The Lemma Game was selected as one of the best programs of this initiative. So we have been in Strasbourg at the end of last year as well to present the app. So in the European context, there is some organizations that know about the app and promote it, but the initiative came from our own university. You're muted.
So thank you very much and congratulations on this great acknowledgement of your achievement. So Mathieu, thank you very much for your presentation. And I really hope that many viewers will download the app and use the app. We will certainly will do that, and within the university. And I would like to wish you and more users in Europe.
Thank you very much. I hope so as well. The app and make it more relevant for even a wider audience. So that's great. Thank you very much for your attention. It was a pleasure, and good luck with the next session.
Thank you very much. So now I would like to give the floor to our next speaker, Borana Taraj. Borana is working as a senior community and project manager for EARMA, which is the European Association of Research Managers and Administrators. Borana has been working in Brussels since 2013 for several policy initiatives and European funded projects in research, ethics and integrity, and energy and business environment. She joined EARMA in 2019, and she started working on the topic of research, ethics and integrity. She has been deeply involved in strengthening the EARMA ethics and research integrity community, which we are going to talk about today, as well as shaping the outcomes of the Horizon 2020 project's standard operating procedures for research integrity, representing the voice of the research managers in the consortium. Since 2022, Borana is also involved in new EARMA projects and community building activities for creating framework conditions and communities of practice for research management to strengthen the European research area. So I'm going to stop my screen sharing now and going to give the floor to Borana, who is going to introduce the ARYAN community to us.
Thank you, Bori. Thank you very much, first of all, for the invitation and having me as a guest today. I feel honored. And good afternoon to all the colleagues who are watching us online today. Indeed, as Bori mentioned, I have prepared a short presentation and I will introduce you to the EARMA Ethics and Research Integrity Network. So let me first of all share my screen. I hope you can see it. So I am Borana, and thank you very much, Bori, for the presentation. I am, as Bori mentioned, I am working on coordination of European projects at the EARMA, mainly Horizon Europe, and also I'm involved as a community builder, and in particular here I will focus on the Ethics and Research Integrity Network.
Borana, sorry for a minute. The presentation is not in presenting mode.
Yes, we had the same problem before.
Yeah. Let's try. If it doesn't work, then it's fine as well.
Still not in presentation mode?
No, not yet.
Okay. Then probably I can continue this way because
just go ahead this way.
Okay.
It's
I'm sorry.
visible. No problem.
So let me start from the story of ARYAN. Who are the people in it? I would like to focus on 3 points. Who are the people involved in ARYAN, and what is the objective as a collective group of peers who work in ethics and integrity in everyday practice, and how also does ARYAN collaborate in the European landscape with the main actors such as the European Commission, but also with other projects or initiatives. Somehow I try to summarize in 2 words what also in my experience the group is for, and I've selected 2 words coming also from
Sorry, Borana,
yes?
I have to interrupt again.
Sure.
We see the first slide, and I think that we should see the second one. Yeah. Okay, now the first one again, and then...
Is this the second one?
We do not see the second one. Just please.
I see the second one, but apparently you don't.
Now we see the second one.
Okay, maybe I leave it. I don't put it in full presentation.
Okay.
Okay. We'll figure it out.
No problem.
Sorry. Yes, so I was mentioning that ARYAN has been a lot about sharing in the community, sharing best practice among its members, but also not only best practices, also struggles and information that members, they do not manage somehow to deal with at the national level. So that is why also we have the European network. But it's also about caring about each other, meaning that we try to keep the connection with the community throughout the year, not only during the meetings, but we also have a platform that I will also introduce later, which is available for the members, and everyone who has access then can post questions and ask for advice also from other community members. I hope we can go to the next slide. Bori, let me know if you don't see it. I'm in my third slide, and I'm focusing here on people in ARYAN, the most important. So you do not find a specific title for people who are working in ethics and research integrity as practitioners. That might have titles such as ethics coordinator, integrity officer, or data protection officer, but they are also dealing with research data, or they are research funding advisors and many others. Then what are our colleagues in ARYAN doing? Of course, many things, and their responsibilities go from implementation of policies in the area of research integrity, but also the development of these policies and ensuring compliance. So if I give some examples here in the what, they are supporting researchers for ethics issues, but also making and implementing policy plans on research integrity. They are also first aid and guidance in case of suspected research fraud or questionable research practices, and in a more contributing more positively to the research environment, they are training researchers about research integrity and making impact for the future. They work in different departments, so you can find them in research support, but also research affairs, division of science and innovation, responsible conduct of research, strategy, science policy, and others. Then just one step backwards, why the ARYAN network was created back in 2018, so 4 years now. The group has been growing and maturing. There was a conversation at the European level also with the colleagues from DG Research and Innovation, specifically the Ethics and Research Integrity sector at the European Commission, that there was somehow a lack of contribution about implementation at European level of what was going on in this area of research integrity. There were many groups who were dealing with research of ethics and integrity, but not what was needed in terms of implementation. So the first meeting then was launched in 2018, hosted by the European Commission, and since then the group has been focusing somehow based on the main leitmotif questions that you find also in here. So what are the main challenges and changes that practitioners are dealing with in their current practices, and what are the standards and best practices that they can share at European level in ethics and research integrity? Few testimonials. We had also a dissemination event last year with colleagues from research support offices, and Bori also, she was part of the moderation of that event. So we collected many information from our members, what had ARYAN meant for them in the last years since it's set up in 2018, and how has the community been of support or inspiration for them at a personal or institutional level. So there are many of these testimonials that were collected on the Padlet platform that you see here, the full link. But here I've selected a few of them that I think are interesting to put forward here today. First of all, our members, they appreciate the network, the existence of the network, because they can share practical information on how they implement ethics and integrity policy at their own institutions and with other colleagues across Europe. And it is a discussion platform. We have speakers from the European Commission on a regular basis. I'll speak more about that later, but also invited speakers from top academia who are working on research integrity issues. They get new ideas and skills from the network, but also there's peer-to-peer support and staying connected. and also an opportunity to raise awareness on ethics among researchers in their institutions. So when we look at where we are at today with ARYAN, we had so far 8 biannual meetings, but also additional webinars or workshops of interest. So we are meeting 2 to 4 times per year. The pandemic has also created new opportunities to meet online. So that's not only, of course, a negative side of it, but we will keep, of course, the physical meetings. There is one happening in Brussels next month. I will also give you more information in a minute. We have around 350 community members who are registered in our platform. And so far we have been discussing a variety of topics. Here I have included some of them. For example, last year the focus was on Horizon Europe, as it was timely to discuss about the changes and the transitions in the framework program. But we also have been discussing within the community GDPR implementation, open science, the European Code of Conduct for Research Integrity, research evaluation, training, and we always have minutes and short reports from the sessions and from the workshop. But occasionally we also have more detailed reports. So I've included here one on training and implementation of training and on ethics and integrity, which is a guidance document. You find it on the EARMA website with a checklist, what you need to put in place if you want to come up with your own research integrity training for your institution. If I look now more at, let's say, strategic level, how we collaborate with actors at European level and with the European Commission, ARYAN is recognized as a stakeholder for the EARMA community in ethics and research integrity. So we have a regular dialogue with colleagues at DG Research and Innovation, the ethics sector, about what is going on, what are the main challenges of the group, what is the evolution of the group. So we also have in each of our meetings a representative from the European Commission speaking about what are the main trends, what's going on in topics such as I mentioned, Horizon Europe, open science, etc. And also in terms of collaboration, we also establish lots of connections with other European projects active in ethics and integrity or other initiatives in different capacities. EARMA is either a project partner or can participate as a representative in the stakeholder forums, as a training or workshop facilitator, or present the network as I'm doing here today in specific events. I have highlighted 3 of these initiatives here that I find interesting to share with you. The first one is the Standard Operating Procedures for Research Integrity project that is funded by the Horizon 2020. EARMA is a partner, so we have been working in this project since 2019. It's been a lot going on. That's why I want to invite you also to go on the project website that you see here on the slide. There's lots of guidelines and recommendations in the area of research integrity that you can find inspiration for your own practices in your organization. So hopefully this is helpful for you. We are coming at a very mature phase of the project. And another initiative, as we had Mathieu, our first speaker, also wanted to highlight that we have been collaborating with Virtue, that is Train the Trainer program on research integrity, and many of our community members have also been trained in this program to train researchers in their field. So we also included the Lemma Game as part of the exercise, and we saw that also our community of practitioners, this was one of the exercises that they found really, really useful. And finally here, I would like to stress the upcoming World Conference on Research Integrity that is happening in Cape Town at the end of May, beginning of June. Here, EARMA will participate, and I will be there personally with the poster presenting ARYAN and with the role at European level, what we are doing with the network. And we also have a workshop to discuss specifically what is needed in terms of implementation of research integrity promotional plans, or how institutions can exchange information among each other. In terms of plans, upcoming plans for 2022, we have our next meeting of ARYAN on the 10th of May in Brussels. So we are finally transitioning to a physical meeting this time. And the meeting will focus on international research and collaboration. You'll find in the link more information about the meeting. I have to say that registration closed last Friday, but in case you are still interested, please send me an email today, and we are wrapping up the registration, so we will try also to include you in the program. And I would like also to mention that we are at an important change phase also for the ARYAN group and for its leadership. We have had so far 4 years of outstanding leadership for a committed group of 10 members and volunteers from the EARMA community. I would like to recognize here that Bori is also a member of the core group. So thank you so much, Bori, to you and also to all the other colleagues who have been leading the agendas and putting the focus on what is timely and what is a hot topic to address also in the community. So we have launched a call for a new renewed core group as of September 2022. And to put you somehow in the more overall bigger picture of how ARYAN operates within EARMA. So probably you know that the EARMA is the Association of Research Managers and Administrators, and it has more than 170 institutional members and more than 200 individual members. We have an annual conference that is a great opportunity to link with the community. The next one is happening in Oslo in May, in a few days actually, and it's a real success. We have more than 100 registered participants, so we're really very much looking forward. The program is amazing. And also we will have sessions also about ethics and integrity. We try to do this each time also in these occasions. But EARMA is not only about the conference, it's also about, generally speaking, to contributing to scientific research. So we do it differently, exchanging best practice, professional development, offering professional development training to the members, recognition of profession, and EARMA also participates as a stakeholder at the most important negotiations and discussions at European level about the profession. So here I also would like to highlight another important project that will start in June 2022. It's a project funded by Horizon 2020 called ARYAN Roadmap. And here EARMA has partnered to make a change in terms of the future, what is needed in terms of future of research management. So that's why also the project is called Roadmap. And but not only, also putting in place a community to deliver this roadmap and to support its delivery. So we'll have lots of activities upcoming in the next 3 years. About communities of practice and lots of ambassador networks also established at national level. And we'll have also a focus on widening countries. So please reach out in case you are interested, because we would like to focus more and more on making participation also from inclusiveness countries more representative at a European level, also in EARMA, of course. So in case you would like to have more information about the network on ethics and integrity for EARMA, you can find information on our YouTube channel. But also I would like to invite you to also join our new community platform that we have launched this year after months and months actually of working hardly with the other colleagues from my office. It's a kind of a one-stop shop for membership activities, events, and community exchanges. So in case you would like to be part of the platform, you'll find more information here in the link that I have included. And also you can read more about ARYAN on the EARMA website. Here you find also my contact details. So please do not hesitate to get in touch with me. And for now, I'll stop sharing and looking forward to some discussion with you.
Thank you very much, Borana. We have received questions in the meanwhile. Let me just share this. Okay, and also thank you for mentioning the core group. I'm very glad to have contributed to this great initiative in the past 4 years, and I really look forward to the next phase of ARYAN with the new core group and new broadened activities.
Thank you, Boris. It was a real pleasure.
So let's see the questions. Yeah, we do not have research integrity officers in the university. Can the community help in the setup of the institutional framework?
Yes, here, of course, each institution has its own rules and its own functioning. So the community, how can be of help to you is you can post this question in the community. So other members probably have gone through the same before. So, and many members are also very eager to share their knowledge. So please, for this kind of questions, come and join our community. Also, you can post this question online anytime. I include the link at the end. So you'll see that some members, they can exchange their experiences with you, because indeed we have examples from members who do not have a research integrity officer, and they are trying to put in the agenda through the existing research support, but others who are setting up, and others who have already 3 or 4 people working as staff. So yes, you'll find lots of knowledge in there.
Thank you very much. Is the membership individual or institutional? Is there a membership fee?
Yes, so for this, I would like to invite you to go on the EARMA website, because you'll have all the information about how to become a member. So there are 2 possibilities, either to become an institutional member, which gives you the opportunity to have several members of staff who can be part of the institutional membership, but depending, of course, on what kind of department you are. Maybe you are the only person who is interested, that probably in that case would make more sense that you have an individual membership. Of course, the fees are different, taking into account. For the community platform, we have foreseen also another possibility to join as a guest to test the community. So in case you do not have the possibility to become a member or an individual or institutional member, you can already test the community platform. You can be part, because the idea is that this is open and it is for everyone. And then you'll have the experience and see if this is enough for you, or it makes more sense, then you need a membership as well to join the different activities, of course.
Thank you. And the last question, interesting, when you mentioned that you are a community of practitioners, do you deal with producing practical guidelines for researchers and research managers?
Okay, very nice question in here. So indeed, this is the objective of our meetings. We try to be very clear also in the description of the agenda that the meeting is, of course, open for everyone, but those who have an interest in the practical side of ethics and research integrity. So, for example, the report that I mentioned about training, this was part of one of our meetings discussions. And in here, we tried to collect all the information, all the discussions that we had in the meeting. And we also always have also small groups actually during the meetings who are discussing more deeply the topics. And we tried that the outcome of each of these meetings is something that is very practical and can be used by its members. So we have some practical guidelines from the topics that I mentioned in the presentation, and we try to keep this focus in each of our meetings. I also would like to highlight here that, of course, the outcome of the ARYAN workshops is on research managers, but we are part of other projects. That's the one on the SOPs for R&I that I mentioned, Standard Operating Procedure for Research Integrity. And here we are also collaborating with our other researchers and partners across Europe. So guidelines that are coming there are lots of guidelines coming also from that project that are also addressing well, not specifically researchers, but rather the organization. So either research performing or research funding organizations. But some of them are also interesting for the researchers because we are dealing what is needed, for example, in terms of supervision and mentoring, or what guidelines in case of for PhD students. So there's a lot actually that you can consult online, that is available online.
Thank you very much. I do hope that at one of the upcoming sessions, we are going to talk about the Subs4i project as well, which is a very, very interesting research integrity H2020 project. Okay, thank you very much, Borana, for this very concise presentation of what ARYAN is doing. And I also would like to suggest and advise everyone who is interested in research ethics, research integrity, to get engaged with this community, to learn about what this community is doing, and if you are interested, become a member of this community. So thank you very much, and I would like to thank you for your attention in the audience as well. The recording will be available on YouTube and on the website or at horizon.bme.hu. And we are going to continue in 2 weeks with another interesting topic. So have a nice rest of the day, and thank you very much for your attention. Goodbye.
Bye.